third eye on there.
It's going to say he needs to be admitted. Yeah. You have to just touch it, admit.
So his picture will show up.
Yeah.
He was
Not a
recorded
picture,
yesterday.
just going to be a little, and then
You drew
I
recorded?
recorded it yesterday, I put it online.
Oh, okay.
Okay, seems to be working, except someone said the sound wasn't perfect. Oh, Moshe, if you mute your phone, it may be better. That's what someone told us. Okay, we're going to start today from Daf Zion and the Bais from Gufa. Gufa is about 11 lines down. Oh, okay. The only thing that you need to know before this is that if there was a placenta that was born, so the house is tamei because we assume that there was also a fetus there. And Reb Shimon says no. Reb Shimon says that it's tar. It's really not just Reb Shimon, it's really Reb Yosef, Reb Yehuda, and Reb Shimon. All of them are matar. Everyone says that it's tar. There's a placenta in the house, but we didn't know where the baby is. We say the baby must be there. But
So the baby's alive or
no, it
just
disappeared.
It was born there. It was a miscarriage.
It disintegrated.
We assume that it dissolved. It disintegrated. So now, we're talking now about a corpse disintegrates, and you have just the powder. That's all you have, just this powder. So,
Can Daniel put his mute on?
Bone or without bone? Because bone cannot disintegrate. Whatever you call it.
yeah, well, the baby was like in a way that wasn't really attached, or the cells weren't really attached, and it just dissolved. It was just like it was there in its form, but somehow it disappeared, and now it disappeared in the liquid. That's right. That's what we're talking about before. Now we're talking about if there was a body, a corpse that disintegrated. If it's in a marble house, so all there is just this powder of disintegration. So then it's the house is tamei. Is that how we said it? The house is tamei. Okay. Now it goes like this: Mali tarvid rektiv shenafel techi offer. If you have this tarvid, which is, we say that was a spoon. It's a ladle full of this disintegrated corpse. Now a little dirt fell into it. Offer kulshu, it dropped, so it's tamei. When Reb Shimon matar, Reb Shimon says that it's tar. We discussed this before. Reb Shimon says that the dirt is mevatel. That was our suggestion. Maybe the dirt is mevatel the corpse disintegration, and then we said no, that's not the pshat. So the pshat is that just like the way that it disintegrates, it's only going to give off tumah if it's pure corpse, not if it's in a wood coffin, not if there's anything else. So therefore, even if after it disintegrates, if anything mixes in, it's going to be tar. Whereas kitchilasa, the way that it disintegrates is very significant in giving off tumah. If there's any clothing there, or anything else there, it's going to be tar. Moli tarvid rekev. Let's say you have a ladle full of this disintegrated material, or babayas, spread out in the house. You can imagine it's like dust. Someone sneezed. So it says, Habayas tamei. The house is going to be tamei. And Reb Shimon says, Reb Shimon matar. And I need both of these cases. The Yashmin and Kamaisif would only say the first case where we said there was a little bit of dirt inside the spoonful of this disintegrated corpse. Then by Hikam Rabbanan Mishum Demachnef. Over there, the Rabbanan say it's tamei because it's all gathered together. Aval Nispazer, but if it's spread out throughout the house, someone sneezed, and all of this powder from the it's not burnt. burnt to something else. It's not,
Where is ashes?
yeah, we're not dealing with that. We're dealing with just it's simply disintegrate. So we would say maybe the Rabbanan would say, "Maidlei Rab Shimon, the ein mal b'chayzer mal." Now the expression "mal b'chayzer mal" sounds like it's happening at different times. Not necessarily. Mal b'chayzer mal means that it's all happening at the same time. It's just it's under different parts of the house. So this roof is mal on half a shear. This roof is mahil. Mahil means tenting, is acting as a tent over this. You need to have a full amount to give off tumah, impurity. The problem is here it's spread everywhere. So this roof is a tent over half a measurement, and this roof is a tent over half a measurement. And maybe the Rabbanan would say it's tar, just like Reb Shimon says it's tar. V'yashmin and baha, and if it would only say this.
On the sukkah, you could have kind of an away with the part, and the rest of the sukkah is fine. Doesn't nullify your roof.
Yeah. The difference is the difference is that here we're dealing with something in the sukkah. Let's say it's a sukkah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here we're dealing with something inside that needs to be caught by what's on top and spread it to the rest of the house. Problem is that it's not in one location. It's spread out everywhere. We'd say that maybe that doesn't combine.
Okay.
See, I'm not talking about the roof. I'm talking about what's inside is not there. It's not spreading out properly. It's not. So it's spread out too much. That's
Yes.
So the problem is measuring a shear or whatever
measuring a
this thing
shear,
is
right.
inside the house.
right. If it would only say the first case, I would say that only the first case is tummy.
When the Rebbe pass on, the Rebbe told his neighbor to leave the house
Because it was a kayan. We're going to discuss that shortly. We'll discuss that up here. I don't know all the details of that, but I never heard that. The Yashmin and Bahaf would only say the second case. Baham Rab Shimon Dein Mal V'Chayzer Mal. I would say only in the second case, where it's spread out over the house. Aval Baha Ema Maidul Rabbanan. But in the first case, maybe Rab Shimon would agree that it's tamei if there's just a drop of dirt inside the rekev. Rekev was that disintegrated dust, and maybe Rab Shimon would say that it's tamei. So Tzricha needs both cases. Tanya Idach. There is another brisa that says like this: Mali Tarvid Va'oid. Offer Bais akvaris tummy. If I have a ladleful plus of dirt from a cemetery, it says it's tummy, according to the first opinion here. And Reb Shimon Matar. Reb Shimon says it's tar. Well, it's hard to understand because it really should be. You need a ladleful of the dirt of the disintegrated dust from the corpse itself. It says like this: My time of the Rabbanan. What's the reason for the Rabbanan that say that this measurement is tamei? Let's explain. If you have a ladleful plus, heaping ladleful, it's impossible that it doesn't have at least one ladleful of the dust of the corpse.
Wait, if you have a ladle full of dust, it's impossible. That's a
No,
ladle full of
a ladle full
That's
of dust
100%.
of dirt from a cemetery.
Yeah.
So we're saying that it must have at least
Over a ladle.
over a ladleful. It must have at least a ladleful of the corpse. Now, hashta dam the time of the Reb Shimon mishum seife kitchilasa. Okay, that was the brisa. Okay. So now we say hashta the amrit time of the Reb Shimon mishum seife kitchilasa. What was our explanation? Why does Reb Shimon say that it's tar? If there's anything else that's mixed into the rekev that disintegrated dust, he said, well, how does the rekev even start? It needs to be in a marble house. The corpse needs to be there without any clothing. And that's what's going to make the dust, tame. If there's any clothing or if it's a wood coffin or anything else that could disintegrate at the same time as the corpse, then we don't say that this is tame. So therefore, Reb Shimon then adds to that. Even once I have the measurement and I put in anything else into it, once it's diluted in any way, so then it becomes tar. He says, Seifei kitchilasai. Just like in order for it to become tamei, the tchilasai, how does it? It started off as a corpse. Now it disintegrates, but it needs to be 100% pure for that. It's not ash, that dirt to be tamei. So seifei is the same thing. If you add in anything else, it's going to be tar. So, oh yeah, what's oh? It's
wow. Coin given 3.
No, that's without the jack.
Gabi Shilya, my time. So what's the reason by the placenta? We're getting back to our topic. Why do we say that it's tahar? Very easy. We say that it's batul b'rayv. We say, notice we're asking, what's getting mixed in here other than the baby that's being dissolved inside in the womb, and not in the womb, or out once it comes out in the placenta possibly. What is it? What else here is getting dissolved in it? There's no clothing on the baby. We say no. What we're saying here is that there's roiv dam that's making it nullified. The blood that comes out with the birth is nullifying the baby, and that's where Reb Shimon says it's tahar. This was Rabbi Yechanan's claim, an explanation for Reb Shimon. Rabbi Yechanan says, Reb Shimon, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, Reb Shimon and Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov said the same thing. Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov is that Tana. We learned in Midas, he was the author of Midas. Mishnasi Kavanaki. Reb Shimon, Hadamran. Reb Shimon, what we just said, that the house is tar if there's a birth of a placenta. Rabbi Eliezer, look at that. Here it says Rabbi Eliezer, it switched back and forth. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, okay. Rabbi Eliezer, the Tanya, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says, Behema gasa sheshafa chararis dam, raise it to cover, p'tur min ha'bechayra. If you have a large animal, that out of it comes, a large female animal, out of it comes a chunk of blood. We're concerned that that chunk of blood may actually be a fetus or an embryo, and you have to bury it, because that could have been a male animal, which would have been a bechar. If that's a bechar, then it's supposed to be brought as a korban, but it's not going to be brought, so it has the kedusha of a bechar. You have to bury it. However, the following birth is p'turim min ha'bechayra, is exempt. That's a concern. The Tani Reb Chia taught about that Mishnah. Reb Chia is the early Amira, student of Rabbi. We had him yesterday, uncle of Rav. Eina metama leiba magav leiba masa. It doesn't give off tumah. It's a nevela, right? It's a dead animal. It doesn't give off tumah. Not for touching and not for carrying. One second. If it's not metama, why are you burying it? You're burying it just to let everyone know that the firstborn was already born and it died. That way, the following birth is exempt. Alma, what do we see? Vlad Ma'alyahu. You see that it's a real birth. So then why doesn't it give off any impurity? Rabbi Yechanan says that it gets nullified in the blood. So therefore, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov and Rabbi Shimon hold the same opinion, that if there's blood together with the birth of a embryo that gets dissolved or whatever, here it's blood, over there it's the placenta and the fluids in the placenta, whatever. So it's going to be nullified. Amar Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi says that Rabbi Yechanan says in the chart. This makes sense. Rabbi is right under Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi and Rabasi, they had a best in after Rabbi Yechanan. They said they were as great as maybe Rabbi Yechanan or something. They said like very special things about their yeshiva, the best. Umayda Reb Shimon, she'imei tmei leida. Okay. This statement throws us off a little bit because we said that if a woman gives birth and a placenta comes out, we said that that Reb Meir held, and that's what was quoted in the Mishnah, that the house is tummy. Where's the embryo? Where's the fetus? Zal, we don't know. Reb Shimon argued. Reb Shimon said the house is tar. The house is tar. But now comes along Rabbi in the name of Rabbi and says, yeah, the house is tar, but the mother is tummy because she gave birth. Okay. It's kind of difficult to take both sides here. If she gave birth, then the house should be tummy. It goes like this. Amar Hahu Saba Rabami. Hahu Saba, did we say that Hahu Saba was Eliyahu Navi? Is Daniel on? Did he? Oh, okay, good. So he sent me the link that I mentioned in the Shir, Hahu Saba. I think I remember from Eliyahu Navi that it says somewhere, so he sent me where it says it. So this Hahu Saba says to Rabami, Asbrelach time to Rabbi Yochanan. I'll explain to you the reason for Rabbi Yochanan. Damar Kra, the pasuk says, Isha kisas riya v'yolda zachar. Woman gives birth, a woman conceives and gives birth to a male offspring. It says the Gaimer, etc. Even if she gives birth only to a fluid, that would be the type of fluid that she had at conception, so she's already tamei. Okay, so she becomes tamei from a birth of almost nothing. But the house doesn't become tamei unless it's an actual embryo. Okay, Rish Lakish Amar.
So she's tamei nida. The house we're talking about Tumas Meis.
No, but she's tamei leida.
Oh, she's tamei
Leida.
Yeah. Okay, it's still Tumas Meis.
The Tumas Meis doesn't come in here, even though right. That's right. Okay. Rish Lakish Amar. Rish Lakish says shvir shetrachu b'meimav. Rish Lakish says that if you have the sac that the baby's that's supposed to be the form of the baby, shetrafu. Tarfu is like scrambled, like the term you would use for scrambled eggs. Tarfu. The meimav in its water. So nasa kameshin is navla tsurasai shenis nav live shenis balbala tsurasai, that it's totally deformed, obliterated is the word. So therefore, it's going to be tahar. Amalei Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. This would be an explanation for Reb Shimon. Amar le Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan says to Rish Lakish, how do you know that a corpse that it's what was the word? Deformed, obliterated its form is tahar. Eily Amar Rab Shabsai, Amar Rab Yitzchak Magdala, Ramila Amar Rab Yitzchak Magdala, Amar Rab Shabsai. There's a whole discussion about how to spell Shabsai, with the yud, with the aleph yud, or just the yud, because Shabsai is Saturn. I think the Saturn would be with the yud. So if that's with the aleph, I'm sorry, with the aleph.
It said everything in Babel, aleph and Israel is there.
Yeah, if it's the last letter.
This is
Close enough. Okay, no problem. So it's either Reb Shabsai said in the name of Rabbi Yitzchak Magdala, who's more common than Reb Shabsai, or it's Rabbi Yitzchak Magdala said in the name of Reb Shabsai. He says like this: Meis shenisra, v'shildei kayemes. If there's a corpse got burnt, it's not saying how it died. It could be it died of fire as well. And v'shildei kayemes, the spine is still intact. Tamei. It's tamei. So it still looks whole, it's just burnt. Maisa Haya, there was a story, but Timur like Psachim Gedolim, the fear like Psachim Ketanim. Okay, there's a discussion in Masechta Eilys. Eilys is one of the hardest Masechtas. It's extremely complex.
Can't wait.
You're not going to learn it in the Daf Yomi.
Why,
It's
it's
just
Yerushalmi?
Mishnah. It's just Mishnah. The discussion is like this: if you have a corpse in a house, so the house is tummy, of course, but let's say there's a front porch to the house. There's a front porch tummy. So the rule is that if that's the way that the house, if that's the way that you would take the corpse out of the house, so it continues, the tumah continues out the way that it's going to go, which is through that front door, and which means that overhang over it is also tummy, or maybe things in the doorway of the tummy as well.
In the back porch would not be included.
So actually, it depends if you determined which way you're going out. If you're going out the front, if you're going out the back. If nothing's determined, then they're all tummy. Now, if there's windows there, then they could also be tummy. If they're the size to get the corpse out through the window, if they're a bit large enough. If they're too small, then no. So it says like this: if there's this corpse that's burnt in the house, so all the doorways, all the openings of the house that are 4 tvachim became tameh, but the psachim ketanim are tahar. The small ones are tahar. That would mean small windows under 4, maybe like a tefach size. Now, the reason is because 4 tvachim would be enough to get the person out. So it's considered an exit, and the tumah travels out of whatever possible exits there could.
So if the house burnt out, that's for sure, and that's why the body was burnt, then it's irrelevant.
Right. This discussion wouldn't exist. And we're medayik when this time we said that the house is tamei and those larger windows are tamei. Why? Because the spine is intact. Halav hachi, but if not so tar, if it's not intact, it's tar. This is Rabbi Yochanan suggesting to Rish Lakish. What's your reason why you said that a corpse that's all mixed up, that you were, what's the word again? Obliterated. It's form, so it's tahar. Is it because you see over here that the expression was shildai kayemes? If the spine is intact, halav hachitar. Adarabba, on the contrary, doik mine lahaiti. So maybe the diuk should be exactly the opposite. Shildai kayemes hu detar leipsachim tanim. Why are the small windows tahar? That's because the spine is intact. Halav hachi. If not so, psachim ketanim nami tmeim. The kol chad v'chad chazilav tukei chad ever. Maybe the spine being intact doesn't tell me that the house is tamei. Spine being intact tells me that the small windows are tar. Because if the spine wasn't intact, then it would take out little pieces to the small windows. It would fit through smaller windows if it wasn't intact, and then everything is tamei.
Come on.
Well, no, the fact that it's intact means with the ribs going around it. That's what I assume it means. It means that the torso is intact. I'm afraid to play the game of association. I don't know where we're going to end up. Okay, Amalei Ravina Ravashi. Ravina says to Ravashi, we jump to the end of Dami, right? Period. Rabbi Yochanan, the Amar Kaman. Rabbi Yochanan is arguing with Rish Lakish here. Rish Lakish says that a corpse that is obliterated, Rish Lakish holds is tahar. Rabbi Yochanan is contesting. He's saying, no, where do you get that from? You have a raya from Rabbi Yitzchak Magdala or Rabbi Shabsai. No, that's a raya the other way or whatever. That's not a proof. So who tells Rabbi Yochanan that it's tamei? Rabbi Eliezer. The Amar Kaman. Who does he? He goes like Rabbi Eliezer. The Tanana was taught in the Mishnah. Efer Srufin. The ashes of a burnt corpse. Rabbi Lezer Eimer, Shiurim, Roiva. The measurement is in a Roiva Hakav, a quarter of a kav. That means if you collect the ashes and it goes into the Hechidami Meshin Nisraf, what is the case? And the spine is still intact. Amar Rabbi Gabi Kavla. How did he get burnt and everything is intact? He said he got burnt on a leather, a hide, a leather spread. Tabla is used as a spread over for a bed to hold up over a frame that could be held up. But this is probably soaking wet. What is it?
No, I'm just thinking like a drum skin.
But right. So here, if it was wet, it won't burn. It won't burn in the fire. So it's being held in a way. Rashi adds in that it's like a container. It's being bent up. Okay. Rava Amar, that's a bias. Rava says that it was burnt on some sort of marble, so it also doesn't burn, but all the ashes are contained. Rabbi Amar that it was really only scorched. It wasn't entirely burnt. That's how it's intact.
This time they were doing cremations.
It doesn't say that they're doing cremations. This could have been just someone got burned. How did he get burned? This is how it happened. It's not telling us that this was a common procedure. However, what's the halacha if there's someone's cremated and they're in a container in the house? Is the crane allowed to go in?
As far as I know, yeah. Once the ashes are completely, once the bones are broken down, it's no longer coming.
It's no longer
I
coming.
believe the answer is that the urn is not coming.
What about that's ba'ayhal? What about the maga? Touch it itself.
Once you break something apart completely, it loses its tumah. If you shatter an earthenware glass.
Well, then what are we talking about here?
Here we're saying that the spine is intact.
No, the case where we said a ladle of dirt from the cemetery.
Oh, that is a special case. First of all, that's not burnt. That's disintegrated, and it's only if there's a spine. Only if there's nothing else mixed in. There's very specific
There's nothing else
halacha.
mixed in. If these people burn someone and put them in the urn, touch those ashes.
Right. I seem to remember. I seem to remember that it's definitely tummy b'maga, and I don't know about b'oyal. It's definitely tummy to touch. I don't know. But I don't remember. I didn't look at it. Okay, Tanur Rabbanan. It's interesting. Tanur Rabbanan. You have to be careful how you Google Shilas. There's a lot of people out there that say, "What do you mean? I did it. Nothing happened to me." Right.
It says the halacha is that a corpse was charred, but spine and ribs remain in parts tumah like
Okay.
Holocaust. We mean the
Okay.
opposite would be if it doesn't remain, then
Sounds like not.
Right.
But that could be only in a house.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about touch. Okay. Tanur Rabbanan. If the woman gives birth to just a part of the body, a hand or a foot, so she becomes tamei. Now, doesn't mean that the hand makes her tamei. I don't think so. I think what it means is that there must have been the rest of the body came out. I don't know where it is, but she's tamei from the rest of the body. Now, if the rest of the body is not a real, formed body, then she really wouldn't be tamei, because we had all machlekes give birth to something, a guf atam or an animal. All of those things were not so clear that she becomes tamei. It says we don't suspect that this hand came off a body that would have not made her tamei. We say no, it came off a regular body. Rav Chisda v'Rabbi bar Rav Huna. Oh, this is a common pair. Rav Chisda and Rabbi bar Rav Huna. Rav Huna is a student of Rav, and here you see Rabbi bar Nachmani. It's not the same one. Rav Huna has a son Rabbi. It's Rabbi bar Rav Huna. He's not on the chart. and Rav Chisda, but it would be exactly that generation. The Gemara Sukkah that I'm learning has a case of Rav Chisda and Rabbi Bar Rav Huna ended up with having one opinion different than Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman tries to treat them according to his opinion and see what their response is. So, like you only eat Lubavitch meat when you go to someone else's house and they feed you not Lubavitch meat and they wait for you to say something, or something like that. So anyway, Rav Chisda and Rabbi Rav Huna, right? Rav Nachman was probably by Shmuel, right? And Rav Chisda, I don't know if he was by Rav Huna. Okay, Rav Chisda, Rav Huna, Dami Tavai, Ines Yemei Tayar. This woman does not get the 33 or 66 days of purity after a birth. Normally, a woman gives birth; she's tummy for either a week or 2 weeks, depending on male or female, and then she has days, 33 days or 66 days that any blood is starved. She doesn't get them. My timer. Maybe the birth was a while ago and we missed it, and this hand came out later. Masav Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef has a question. Rav Yosef is in that generation. Hamapeles. When you do a ma'ipila, the woman has a miscarriage. We don't know what it was. So she has to keep the stringencies of both the zachar and the nekeva. That means that she gets the 33 days after the 2 weeks. So she has 2 weeks of a female birth and the 33 days only of the male birth.
Why not the 66?
Because it was a male. We give her the chumras of both.
But
2 weeks.
But if you gave the stronger chummer, that would cover everybody. But the weaker chummer only covers half the situation.
No, so like this. There's possibly 2 weeks of tumah or 1 week of tumah. We give her the longer one, the 2 weeks.
Right.
Then there's days of tara. There's either 66 or 33.
Right.
The chumrah is to have the lesser one. Tara means that any blood that she sees is not going to be tummy during those days. We give her the lesser one just in case.
Why is it?
Which is the 33.
But what if it was a male?
If it's a male,
Sorry,
what if it's a female?
Yeah.
If it's a female, then really she should have 66 days. But because it's a male, we're not giving that to her. It's going to be tummy.
We don't know whether it is.
We don't.
So you
So
go
we have to be strict.
So by being strict, that would mean 66 because it might be
No.
be a female.
What does days of Tara mean? Days of Tara means that if
Blood
she
is
sees
not
blood
tummy.
during that time, she's, instead of being tummy, she's tahar.
Okay. But she also has to wait before she would bring touch something in this kadosh. She's still
Well,
tummy.
until she brings her carbon, yeah.
So
she would have to wait for that, yeah. That would probably be the case. If she's going to be bringing a carbon, she would have to wait for the 81st day.
Oh, excuse me, is this opinion that the days run consecutively? I don't understand this opinion. What is it introducing?
He's saying that if we don't know what it was, male, female, or even more than that, we don't know what it was. So we have to give her all the possible stringencies.
Is it to run consecutively, or you take the one, choose the one of the two options that's most stringent?
So from the birth, we give her 14 days of impurity. After that, she gets 33 days.
Okay.
It's not after that. She really has to take off.
It's 26 days.
26 days because one of those weeks was during the impurity.
So the answer to the question is, you're not picking the more Homer scenario and going with it. You're taking the Homers of both. They're running concurrently.
But why is 33 considered a chumrah over 66? 66
Someone else
would be
coming up.
Tougher. 33 days where if she sees blood, it's not considered blood.
No, but it's still a waiting period. Shouldn't the waiting period, if it's a more makmir waiting period, should be longer than shorter. The longer one should be the
But
chumrah.
during that waiting period, any blood won't make her a Nidda.
I understand, but
So
she still has to wait.
But
But if she's waiting only 33 and we're trying to cover the chumras of a female possibility, then she's only waiting half the time of the waiting.
Right.
Which
Well, not
means
that you're discussing the waiting to bring the carbon.
right.
You're probably correct
Or
about
to
that.
be totally hard, that she can touch.
Right. You're right about that.
Okay.
You're right. We're giving her the male 33 days if she sees blood, she can still be with her husband.
Uh-huh.
That's why we're saying that that's the stringency. Because after 33 days, if she sees blood, she can't be with her husband.
It seems like a leniency.
No, 33 days while she's bleeding, she can be with her husband.
Uh-huh.
After that, instead of 66 days while she's bleeding, she can be with her husband.
That's
We don't keep this today. We don't have Yemei Tayar. The Rambam writes that he heard that there is a place where they still keep it, but all it's across the board.
He's introducing a third variable. We were only entertaining two. One
He's
week,
talking
2
about the
weeks,
carbon and the
33 or
tara.
66. He's saying, so entertain a third variable and make her also on top of, once she finishes the 33, let her go.
Right.
She shouldn't be able to bring a carbon. And
Right.
you're saying that's true.
That's-
She's going to be
that's,
able to bring
right.
a carbon.
Right. Okay, Visal Kadaita, if you're going to say Kolki Gavna, if we're going to accept your opinion, Rabbi Barakun and Rachizda, that you don't give her Yemei Tayar, why not? Because maybe the birth was really much earlier. The real birth was much earlier. So, Ema Herchika Leidasa, listen to Nidda. Why do we say that we suspect that maybe it's a Zachar, maybe it's in the Keva, you have 33 days, you have 14 days. It could be that the whole birth was a week or two before, and really now when she's seeing blood during the 33 days, she's really in Nidda. Because the whole birth was earlier. Why don't we mention that? Amar Abaya responds, Itana Lenida Habamina, maybe a carbon vein and Echal. I would have thought that maybe, why are we saying that she's also possibly in Nidda? Maybe because there was no birth here at all.
Because
And if there's no birth,
we learned
then they bring a carbon, but you don't eat it.
we learned before, so that when she had birds, then she don't come to Nida because she manika gam. Here, even if she have the baby, whatever
Right.
it is, but she cannot come to Nida.
We didn't learn that it's impossible. We just learned that she's Mesuleka Stamim. That there's certain halachas that you don't have to suspect. It's the best anticipated times. It's assumed that it's not going to come, and it's that we didn't learn that it's impossible. She can still see blood. So Kamash Malan Denechal, that's why it doesn't mention Nida, because it wants to tell us that the carbon is eaten. Amar Rav Huna. Listen to this Gemara. Let's say
We had this.
we had this
We had
one.
it before.
If the fetus stretches out its hand to be born, and then it brings it back in.
Then the good.
The mother is Tamei, Shinemar. It's a big chiddush. That's considered a birth. Shinemar, it was when she's giving birth. This is by Tamar. And the parrot, Zarach, puts out its hand, and they tied the thread on it, and then it took it back, and then parrots comes out. So it says that Vayetanyani gave the hand. The hand sounds like it was a birth. Rabbi Yehuda asks to Rav Huna, what are you saying? It says just a hand is nothing. Rav Nachman explains that Rav Huna. I have an explanation for Rav Huna. We do suspect, but Yemei Tayar lo yavinala adenafik ruba. But you don't give her Yemei Tayar until it's born. It says 1 second. We didn't say chesheshes. We said ein chesheshes. Said that it's nothing. Amar Abaya ein chesheshes l'chol davar midiraisa. Midiraisa, there's nothing to be concerned about. Midirabanan chesheshes, but midirabanan is a cheshash. Now the Ritva explains over here that there were 2 stages. There's the Braisa that says that you're not cheshesh, then there's Rav Huna that says that you are cheshesh. The Braisa, we didn't have the rabbinic decree in the days of the Braisa. In the days of Rav Huna, they made the rabbinic decree. The Gemara says 1 second, but Rav Huna quotes a pasuk. He quotes a pasuk by Zara. That's midrabanan. Kras machta ba'alma. He's just bringing that as a support. Support would help you remember things and all of that. Okay, Hamapeles. We have a mission here. In Shulchan Aruch, I remember there's a Pesach Shiva in Kuf Tzadikim, where it talks about the birth, when a woman is giving birth. So over there's a Pesach Shiva about if there's a woman in the middle of labor and you hear crying. So it doesn't mean that it was born, because we come back to check on her. The baby's wasn't born yet. Do we say that the head came out and went back, and that's what the crying was from?
Baby crying? Or
You heard a baby crying. You hear cries of a baby. And then, but you see the baby wasn't born yet, so it doesn't mean that there was a birth. Or do you say it was a neighbor?
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay. Okay. I'm a pelis tumtum androgynous. If the birth is a tumtum, is that the gender is you can't see the gender because there's a skin that grew over it. And androgynous is actually where he or she has two
ambiguous.
ambiguous that you actually have both. Hermaphrodite is the two Hermes, Hermaphroditus, the male and female. So Teshav L'Zachal Nekeva. If the suspect, you don't know what it is, male or female, you have both humras, right? Tumtum v'zachar, let's say it's twins. Tumtum and a zachar, androgynous v'zachar. So Teshav L'Zachal Nekeva. If you had one, you had this, right? If it was just a tumtum, it was a zachar and nekeva, right? So zachar doesn't make it any worse. That's what we're saying. We'll see in the Gemara why it has to say this. Tumtum and nekeva, androgynous and nekeva. Let's see, it's twins. It's a tumtum together with the nekeva, with the female. So teshav and nekeva bilvad. That's just going to be a nekeva because that's going to cover all issues. Why is it going to cover all issues? Because tumah is 14 days. Tara is 66 days. Even if there was a male child, you don't know what the tumtum is, it's only going to be 33 days. So it doesn't detract from the female of 66 days. So the 66 days is going to be there anyway. So it's all good. If it comes out cut up, I don't know what Masuris doesn't say. It sounds like
Came out in pieces.
but Masuris doesn't sound like pieces. Mechutach means pieces. Says to see the Rashash. What is Magia? This is Chavches.
Source one without.
Castrated, sounds like.
Without organs.
No, he doesn't mention that over here. Okay, so if you don't.
Here they say Mukufach.
Oh. That means comes out like breach.
Basra.
Yeah, right.
The source is reversed. Feet first.
Oh, Masuris. Derech Magalis. Okay, good. Lashon Hepachuk, Masuris, and Mikra. Okay, excellent. So Hareyu Kiyal, I missed that. Hareyu Kiyal, you need to have the majority born. Yatsa Kedarka, but let's say it's a normal birth, head first. That's Yatsa Rev Resha, when the head comes out. Majority of the head. Bezer Rev Resha, what's the majority? Mishatsa Pedachte, when the far head comes out. Gemara says, Hashta Tumtum L'chudei Vandreginus L'chudei Amarteshav L'Zachal Nekeva. If she just gives birth to a Tumtum itself, or to Androgenous, this hermaphrodite.
This was all because of the whore, that last question, with the head first?
No, that was just saying when is the birth? When is the birth? When it's the majority. Majority of what? If it's the head first, majority of the head. If it's the feet first, majority of the body.
But a page back, wasn't there with the sando and the baby, if the head of the baby came out the head of the sando, just a little bit,
Right.
Something.
Yeah, that would make a difference. So it could make several differences. But.
Okay.
So if just the tumtum itself is a suffix, so if it's a tumtum and a zachar, the suffix gets any worse. Tumtum and zachar, zachar mibayale, it doesn't have to mention. If it's a twin, the tumtum and the androgynous have all the possible problems. Well, it says Yitzchak, no, it's necessary. What might you have said? Rabbi Yitzchak. This we had yesterday. Rabbi Yitzchak says, or 2 days ago, Isha mazras tchila. That it depends who gives seed first, the man or the female. If it's the man, then he has a female child. If it's the wife, then they have a male child. So if it's twins, we have to say that it's the same. We could have thought that in this conception, whose seed came first. So it must be, if it's a zachar twin, it must be the androgynous must be a male, a zachar. Kamash Malan comes to tell us, was in the keva. Maybe they both had seed at the same time, and therefore it's a male and a female. Amar Rav Nachman Amar Rav. Rav Nachman says the name of Rav. Tumtum of androgynous shiro luvan oidem ein chayavan al bias mikdash vein sarfin leim asat shuma. Okay, a girl that has blood that comes from her is tamei. Tumas nida or zava. A man that has a shichva zera or zav, a white fluid that comes from him, so he's also tamei. Tumah means that you're not allowed to go into the temple, and you're also not allowed to eat or come in contact with truma. If you do, you have to burn it. So, if you go into the temple, you have to bring a sacrifice. The problem is that this is a tumtum and androgynous. You don't know if it's a male or female. So, a male that sees a red fluid is not tamei. A female that sees a white fluid is not tamei. So, these you don't know what it is. It sees a white fluid. How can you say it's tamei? Could be it's a female. It sees a red fluid. How can you say it's tamei? Could be it's a male. So, you don't burn the truma and you don't bring a carbon. Let's say they see both. Ein chayav and al bias hamikdash. You're not chayav. Aval sarfin leimas truma. However, you do burn the truma. We still have the doubt about bringing a carbon that's not necessary. It's called chulin ba'azara. It's a problem. You're not supposed to do that. But the truma we do burn. Shenemar mizachar vad nekeva to shalechu. Zachar vadai nekeva vadai is by tumtum androgynous. Who do you send out of the temple? A male and a female that's tamei, but not someone that's unidentified as a male or a female. Lema Messiah, let's bring a proof. Tumtum androgynous for a luvanayad. I mean, chayav and albias amigdash. Tumtum and androgynous. They saw a white fluid or a red fluid. They're not chayav if they enter into the temple. They insarf leimas truma, and you also don't burn truma. Ro luvan vaydam kachas. Let's say they see it together, a red and white. Ein chayav and albias amigdash. Aval sarf leimas truma. You burn the truma, but you're not chayav in coming into the temple. It's exactly the same thing what Rav Nachman says in the name of Rav. What are we gaining by bringing this? We bring a brisa. I'll bring a proof, a support to the statement of Rav Nachman Amar Rav. My time, what's the reason? Lav mishum shenemar mizachar v'nekevet shalechu. Is it not because of the same verse that zachar vadai nekeva vadayis? It needs to be a definite male, a definite female. V'loitum to androgynous, and not one of these that's in the doubt. Okay. Amar Ula. Ula says loy. Actually, that brisa does not support Rav. It's not because of that source. There's a different reason. Amani Rabbi Eliezer. This is the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer is Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkenes. We mentioned before at the beginning of the Masechta that we don't even pass like him except in 4 cases. The Tanan was taught in the Mishnah. Rabbi Eliezer it says, Rabbi Eliezer says, quotes the pasuk. It says that any soul that comes in contact with anything that's tamei, whether a dead animal or a dead a dead animal, or a wild dead animal, or a dead sheretz, and then he forgets about it, or it's concealed from him his tumah, and he enters into the temple. So it goes like this: Hasheretz v'nela mimeno. That's juxtaposed in the pasuk. The creeping creature that's tamei, and it's concealed from him. Rabbi Eliezer says, "Al helam sheretzu chayv and chayv al helam mikdash." You only chayiv, not if you forgot that you're entering in the temple. You only chayiv if you forget. In other words, you went in by mistake. What was the mistake? Either you forgot your tamei, or you forgot that it's the temple. So here Rabbi Eliezer says, only if you forgot that you're tamei, not if you forget that it's the temple. Rabbi Kiva Aimer benel manavu tamei al helam tumo chayv and chayv al helam mikdash. Rabbi Kiva says something very similar. But not sheretz, you forgot that you're tamei. That's Rabbi Kiva's words. What's the difference between Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Eliezer? Chizkiah says, sheretz and nevela kabinayo. Sheretz and nevela is a difference. Rabbi Eliezer savar binan ad yada iba sheretz itmi iba nevela itmi. Rabbi Eliezer holds that you have to know specifically, was it a sheretz or was it a nevela? Rabbi Kiva savar loy be'inan. Rabbi Akiva says you just have to know that you're tamei, and then you forget about that. Lav Amar Rabbi Lezer Hassam bin Diadi b'sheretz itmi b'nevele itmi hachanami bin Diadi beluvan itmi b'idem itmi. Why was this androgynous or tumtum tamei? Because a white fluid and a red fluid fell out, but we don't know which one made the tumah. So therefore, it's the opinion of Rabbi Lezer that until you know which one caused the tumah, you're not tamei. Abel Rabbi Akiva dam mishum tumah mechayev hachanami mishum tumah mechayev. Okay. However, Rabbi Akiva, you would actually be chayiv because you know that you're tummy. You just don't know which one. That would be. He would hold that over here. You would be actually chayiv to bring the carbon. Let's leave it over here.
Shout out to Shul.
What do you do here? Okay. Let's see. Have a good day.
All too.